In 7 months, I am turning 50. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really excited about it. I did not feel this way going into 40. And I think one of the big differences is really my mindset, the way that I'm looking at this age, the lens that I'm looking through. It has nothing to do with how I look and everything to do with how I want to live the next 50, assuming I get that gift, right? I know not everyone is guaranteed another 50. But something has really shifted in me over the past couple of years, something I didn't see coming. And today I want to tell you about it. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. I have been sharing over these past few months about my journey with my father. So my dad is 80. He lives 3,000 miles away. He has type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's, and now showing very clear signs of dementia. And I am rumbling with that in a big way. I've been going down there every 6 weeks for the past 2 years to check on him, organize him, get him to doctor's appointments. And I won't lie, it's been really hard because there's a little bit less of my dad every time I go. But it's also been a really beautiful time. I don't think I've ever in my life felt closer to my dad. But there has been this slow process of watching someone that I love disappear by degrees. And what I'm witnessing and what I'm going through, I hate saying this, but it's not unusual. It is exactly where the data says most of us are headed if we don't start making different choices. And sitting in that reality up close and personal of being a caretaker 3,000 miles away, of being his daughter, of being a woman in midlife, reckoning with my own mortality, it's really done something to my relationship with my health that nothing in my 30 years in the wellness industry has done. So no certification, no book, no training could have ever taught me this. It's really sharpened everything, and it's made my health journey more urgent in a way that it's never felt urgent before. It's always felt important, but now it feels urgent. So let me give you a picture of where most Americans are statistically headed, because I think we need to sit with this for a moment. By the time the average American reaches 65, nearly 9 in 10 are taking at least one prescription medication. Nearly 40% are managing 5 or more drugs simultaneously. And that number has tripled in the past 20 years. So I can't even imagine where it's going to be in another 20. Approximately 85% of older adults have at least one chronic health condition, and 60% have 2 or more. Those with 5 or more chronic conditions average 20 doctor visits per year. And I think that's on the conservative side because, man, the number of doctor's appointments I have taken my dad to in the past 2 years is just astounding to me. I've watched my dad navigate this system. I've been navigating this system with him. And it's really led me to ask questions that I can't stop asking. Is modern medicine helping us to live longer or just die slower? Because honestly, every appointment I go to, the answer has largely been just more medication. I don't see a lot of people wanting to help elders. I see them wanting to medicate them to make their symptoms go away. And maybe that is a level of help, right? I shouldn't deny that. That is a level of help, but it's not really getting to the root of the problem. And my other frustration, my immense frustration, is that none of these doctors seem to be talking to one another. I went to an eye appointment with my dad recently, arguing because I wanted to argue with the ophthalmologist that I didn't think my dad should have cataract surgery because he has double vision caused by his Parkinson's. And he's been going to this doctor for 20 years, this ophthalmologist for 20 years. And the ophthalmologist said to me, I kid you not, your dad has Parkinson's? That was a question. I was full of rage, right? And I did not express it. Yes, I explained to him he had Parkinson's and we took it from there. But it just blew my mind. And from where I'm sitting, we really have, the medical system has become remarkably skilled at managing the downstream consequences of decades of neglect. Because no one's going to argue, not even my dad, that we are largely here because of decades of neglect. But what we're far less good at and less skilled at is helping people prevent the neglect in the first place. I wrote a whole article about this. You might have read it on Substack. It's called Aging by Design. And when we are trying to just manage the downstream consequences of decades of neglect, that's not aging by design. That's aging by default. And you don't really choose it. It chooses you. When you outsource your health to circumstances, convenience, and a medical system that is far better at rescue than it is at prevention. So aging by design is not a guarantee, right? It's not a promise that you're never going to get sick, you're never going to need a doctor, you're never going to face something hard. I fully acknowledge that life is complex. Genetics are real. Stress is real. But aging by design is not a posture. It's a decision, a declaration that you are not going to leave the trajectory of your health entirely to chance. It means you stop taking your health for granted while you still have time to protect it. So it'll come as no surprise that, right, I always circle back to the elements that are going to help us protect it. Moving our body on the regular, not to punish it or shrink it, but to preserve it. Strength, cardiovascular work, mobility, sleep, these are not optional extras for the health obsessed. They are non-negotiables of a body that can carry you into your later years with dignity and capability and resilience. Nutritionally, you pay attention to what you put in your mouth, right? What you eat is what you are. It's information for your hormones, your brain, your metabolism, your inflammatory load. Every meal is either compounding your health or quietly eroding it. It means we take responsibility for stress, our total stress load, because chronic stress becomes chronic disease. We process our grief. We work through anxiety. We avoid emotional isolation because these things, if we don't resolve them, they live in the body and they age the body. We tend to our relationships. I've shared it many times on the show, but loneliness is now considered a greater risk for premature health than obesity. The quality of your relationships with others and with yourself is a health metric. And we choose to move through our life purposefully because we know that people who feel their lives have meaning live longer, they recover faster, and they age more gracefully. Having something to wake up to that you're excited about matters more than almost any supplement on the market. So here's the thing I want to be really clear about because I know this audience. Aging by design does not mean white-knuckling your way through health habits that you hate. It doesn't mean perfecting your health plan, whatever the hell that means, right? It doesn't mean obsession. It means devotion, a genuine relationship with your own well-being, taking care of yourself not because you're afraid of what happens if you don't, but because you respect the life you've been given enough to protect it. And I think that distinction, it matters a lot because fear is exhausting and it just adds more stress, where devotion is sustaining. It is sustenance. It gets us out of bed. So as I head into this 7 months before I turn 50, I'm asking myself some really big questions, right? Not how do I look, but how do I want to feel at 60, at 70? What decisions am I making right now that my future self will either thank me for or beg me to have made differently? I'm definitely going to be sharing some of that journey with you this year, certainly not as a curriculum, but just as a story to follow along with, because I think we need more women who are talking honestly about aging and the things that we're rumbling with and the things that we're figuring out, the things that allow us to exhale and also prevent us from having to go in to the depths of the medical system. It's not about performing wellness, right? It's not pretending that it's all graceful and easy because we surely know it's not. It's just walking through it out loud, together, messily and imperfectly. That's what this is. So the window that you have right now is the best one you're going to get, ladies. Your future self does not have more time, more energy, or more resources than your present self. She actually has less. And what your future self has or doesn't have is the accumulation of everything you're choosing right now. This is your one body. This is your one precious life. Age is coming for you. It's coming for all of us. The only question is whether we meet it on our terms or its terms. And I know for one, I am choosing fiercely to choose my terms. I'm going to design my aging process to the best of my ability. I'm not going to wait one more day to start or to deepen. And I hope you don't either. Because you deserve to age well. And everyone and everything around you will benefit from you aging well. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.